I'm always on the hunt to find the perfect pair of earbuds that I could find. And like some of you guys, I'm also a member of Facebook groups and communities where we talk about audio gear. And one of the models that I've seen being talked about recently is the Edifier W220T with the Snapdragon Sound. And this is what we will be reviewing right now. Here in the Philippines, this is only priced at around 2,249 pesos to about 2,499 pesos, which is actually pretty affordable for a good quality pair of earbuds. I mean, I've seen earbuds go for about 8 to 15,000 pesos, so 2,499 is actually pretty reasonable. But I think a lot of you guys would agree that there's no better price than free. In collaboration with Edifier, one of you guys could be the lucky owner of your own Edifier W220T. And no, I'm not going to give you this particular review unit. You will be getting your own brand new sealed copy from Edifier. So if you're interested, you only have to do one thing. Ito lang. Of course, to be eligible to win, you have to be subscribed to this channel. That's a given. But all you have to do is watch this review and comment down below what particular feature of the W220T did you like best and what song are you planning to listen to using this. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. And the winner will be announced on the first week of around the first week of January, and we will be announcing this on our Facebook and Instagram pages. So be sure to follow our social media pages so you could monitor if you are the lucky winner. Right. So now without further ado, let's now review the W220T. So to start, let's first talk about this design. So as you can see, this comes in the classic clamshell design with an LED indicator up front which shows what status the device is currently in and a pairing button at the back. We also have the Edifier branding painted on top of the lid. And this comes in two color options. This one in black and there's also a white option. The design is actually pretty basic as you can see, but this black version is piano black finish. But once you open the lid, you can see that it is matte inside. I guess that's one way that tells us that Edifier is actually very particular when it comes to their attention to detail. So that's a good start. Now for the buds, this actually seems to be going for a similar form as the classic Apple AirPods with a slightly longer stem, and it doesn't use silicone ear tips. This also has the Edifier branding painted on the stem, which I'm not really that big of a fan of, but you might, and I'm not going to judge you on that because Edifier is a very respectable brand in the audio scene, so it's actually very okay to brag this brand. Now, judging its build quality, this isn't the best, but it's also not the worst that I've experienced either. I actually really like that the magnets are pretty strong. So as you can see, there's no chance that the earbuds would accidentally fall off, which is very good. Now, as for the way this looks, I honestly dig this design. It's, you know, that it's very basic. Probably to easily describe it, it looks like the free pair of earphones that you get when you buy your new phone, just without the wire. So it's really simple looking and it's not trying to do anything fancy that would make it look weird. And I really like that. Now, pairing this to your phone is actually very simple. All you have to do is open the lid and press the pairing button at the back and wait for your host device to detect this. And then once you're paired, then you're already good to go. You only have to do that once, and then for the next time that you're going to be using this, you only need to open the lid, and that already automatically pairs it with the phone or with the device that it was previously paired with. Alright, now let's talk about the part where you should be listening to the features. This sports Bluetooth version 5.3 technology. Now, I understand that to a lot of you guys, the Bluetooth version doesn't actually matter, and I get it. But there is actually an exception, and that goes to people who are doing video editing with earbuds. I'm sure some video editors might have already experienced this. If you're using a pair which uses an old version of Bluetooth, the audio will get distorted and there's a very distinct lag or latency that would be going on as you edit your timeline. With this one, I've used this for video editing. There's no distortion happening when I'm using this on Adobe Premiere. And latency is very minimal. It's still not 1:1 like as you would experience on wired pair of earphones, but it's very, very tolerable. So if you're going to be doing video editing using wireless earbuds, this is actually a very good option. The W220T also features soft touch controls. Now, I understand that almost all pairs of earbuds have their own style of touch control. Some have buttons, some have taps or swipes that you could do to control whatever it is that's happening on your phone. Here, the gesture that you have to do is a pinch. To play a song, you have to pinch once, and to move on to the next track, you have to pinch twice. It does require some getting used to. I personally haven't gotten used to doing it, and I still just prefer to just use the controls on my phone, and for the most part, it's okay. Okay, now moving on to the main aspect of this review, which I think why most of you guys are here anyway, and this is the sound quality. Does this actually sound good? As you may have also seen in the title or the thumbnail of this review, this sports Snapdragon Sound. And if you're familiar with smartphone chipsets, that is actually a chipset that is oftenly used in higher-end smartphones. So does that mean that this has a Snapdragon chip embedded inside? I'm not quite sure, but from my understanding, Snapdragon Sound, it's a branding for a combination or a chain of audio technologies combined and packed to produce lossless audio quality, lag-free, and to maintain a solid connection between your device and this one. Now, I know what you're thinking, is this actually any good? Well, in a recent article that I saw last November, Bose is actually planning on implementing Snapdragon, or they're actually lined up to have Snapdragon Sound in some of their devices in late 2023. So I guess that's an indication that Snapdragon Sound is something that other brands also are going for. So that might mean that it probably is something good. And it's much better here because we get to experience it for a fraction of the cost. And we are also getting Snapdragon Sound ahead of other devices. But how does it actually sound? To be honest, you're really getting so much more than what you paid for. The sound seems to be leaning more towards the higher registers, but there's also great sounding bass. I would characterize the sound of the bass to be very tight and punchy rather than being boomy. While the mids sound very crisp, you can really hear the hit of the snare drum and the floor drum when you're listening to funky music. And as for the highs, this is my favorite characteristic of its sound because it sounds super clear, that it never gets to the point where it sounds piercing. So if like me, you like jazz music or you like alternative and pop songs like BTS, this is really good for its price. Now, I don't really do much gaming on smartphones, but as I've tried on this, I think the characteristic that I could really feel the difference on this is with its latency. You would barely feel any latency when it comes to the games that you are playing. Also, for battery life, according to Edifier, the earbuds last for about 6 hours, while the case is good for about 24 hours. But in my experience, I only managed to get about 2 to 3 hours on the earbuds, and I don't know if this is actually my fault because I like using this with only one ear, so I guess that charges them unevenly. From my experience, 2 to 3 hours is what I get on these earbuds. Oh, and before I forget, this also has IP54 water resistance rating. So for those of you who are planning on using earbuds while you're working out, this would also work well for you. Anyway guys, that's it for this review. Hopefully you enjoyed. Guys, don't forget to comment the feature that you like most on the W220T and also the song that you want to listen to using this, and comment your answers down below. Follow us on our social media pages guys, and I'll see you on the next video.